Hi, and welcome to Real Life with Jenny. My name's Jenny Senapatiratna. Grab your favorite drink and a snack, and we will get started. Today, I have Taylor's English Breakfast Tea. I got it in Belgium, so it's a little deeper and darker than it normally is here in the United States. And I have a cookie called a speculus. I'll put a picture of it on Instagram and on Facebook, but it is a ginger cookie with dark chocolate on the bottom of it. Oh my goodness, I could buy a crate of these. They are so good. Anyway, let's get real. So my family just got back from a very large trip for us. We went over to Brussels, Belgium. From the United States, right over to Brussels. And it was a great time. We went to Brussels, then we went to Amsterdam, then we went back to Brussels, and then we went to Paris. Came back to Brussels and flew home. It was a whirlwind, and we never stopped and never even got to unpack, which is my chagrin. I love to stop and just be in one place. I don't really like to move around, but it was one of the most interesting trips we've ever taken. Not probably my favorite trip I've ever taken, but there were some highlights. So one of the things that we did is we came straight into Brussels, and came in on a Thursday, I believe, and on Monday we were going to a college to teach at a college or speak at a college. And so on Thursday we got to Brussels and got lost. If you know us at all, we are always lost. My husband is so much better than I am, but I get lost in my hometown, let alone in a foreign country. And we walked up and down the street for a good half hour, 45 minutes with our luggage all over downtown Brussels. And finally, we got to a hotel. When we got there, they said, "Oh, I'm sorry, this is the wrong hotel. You are actually at a different branch that's, you need to get back on the train." So we got back on the train and found our hotel. But the one thing we never really found was good food. Now, I am a food girl. I really enjoy food. I have a lot of food memories. I connect places and people with different foods and memories. That is kind of just who I am. My grandmother, food was love for her. That's how she showed you her love. She made hundreds and hundreds of Christmas cookies every year for 3 grandkids. I mean, really. And there was no way we could ever eat them, but she shipped them all over the world to people. She was just a lovely lady. So food is something that I hold very dear and hold memories with. Now, in Brussels, there was not a culinary masterpiece for me. It was not necessarily anything that I was super excited about. Now, I did have a waffle from a street vendor that was it was the best waffle I've ever eaten in my life. Now, I'm not a huge waffle fan, but this had like strawberry jam and fresh strawberries on top because we wanted it to kind of be simple. And it was, oh my goodness, it was so good. I split it with my daughter, so I didn't get a lot of it. But that was really the only thing from Thursday to Monday that I had really eaten that was of any substance. I kind of just ate little bits of things here and there because I knew we were going to this college. And I was like, when we get to the college, we're going to eat with the college students, and they're going to have comfort food in their cafeteria. And so I didn't really need to eat a lot. I brought a couple snacks for the plane, but I didn't buy any snacks because I was like, it doesn't really matter. We're going to get here and it's going to be great. So fast forward to the Monday, and we get to the college, and that morning, I believe, or the day before, they had to put some new rules into place for the college because COVID had kind of come into that area. Not necessarily in the school, but in that area. So, yay, right? Isn't that great? So we get there, and in the cafeteria, it's social distancing, which was heartbreaking to me. I'll be completely honest. I tried not to cry because we got there, and my vision was to sit down at a table full, of young college students and hear why they're at this college, what their hopes, what their dreams are, what they want to do. Just kind of hear from them and let them share their stories with me so I could pray for them. And we got there and we got to the table and only 3 people can sit at your table. And I'm like, but there's 3 in my family. It was really just heartbreaking for me. And we had to wear masks, which I'm comfortable with, but there's always that, like, they can't really see your full face and you can't see the smile and, just those pieces. So we got there and the first day was okay. It was good. I mean, it was kind of just a settle-in day. We really didn't have anything to do, which for our family is very weird. We're kind of when we're relaxing, but we really like to be like moving on vacation. We are very big into taking walks and doing things and kind of always out of the hotel room. And they didn't have a hotel room. They had this super cute apartment. Oh my goodness, it was adorable. I was like, I could live here. And Kevin was like, Jenny, it's a 1-bedroom. No, you can't. And I'm like, okay, really, you're right. But it was super adorable. And the gracious host got me some milk for my tea, and they had some snacks there. Just a couple cookies and a bag of chips, a small bag of chips for each of us. So we ate those, which was great. But by Tuesday night, I was getting a little hangry. I was getting a little hungry, angry kind of mode. And I had actually prayed, like, Lord, I would love some macaroni and cheese. I know it's not the college's fault, but I would really love some macaroni and cheese because I haven't really eaten since the plane on Thursday. Just a little bit here and there, but I really hadn't done a lot of eating. I tried some chocolate samples in Brussels, and I'm not a chocolate fan. I mean, chocolate's great, but it's not my, like, woohoo! It's my husband's, I'm pretty sure half of his blood right now is Belgian chocolate. Him and my daughter ate chocolate like it was going out of style. It was very funny because any free sample they could find, they were like, good. And I'd take the free sample and give it to them. I actually stopped going in after a while because I'm like, I really don't want another piece of chocolate. Anyway, so by Tuesday night, I was a little frustrated. The vision I had was not coming true. The vision of comfort food, sitting down, sharing my heart, hearing their hearts was not happening. So on Tuesday evening, we get to the cafeteria. I think it was Tuesday evening. It doesn't really matter. We got there and we each got a plate of food. And I said to my husband, we're bringing this back to the back to the apartment. And he was like, okay. And we got back to the apartment and I really just started crying. I'll be honest with you. I just burst into tears. So the plate was probably one of your favorite meals. I don't know. Maybe it was. It's not mine, obviously. It was a plate of quinoa as the base with ratatouille and tofu on top. Now, someone just went, oh my goodness, what's the recipe? I'll be honest with you, I did not ask. I cried. I have tried quinoa before and really do not like quinoa and really, really do not like ratatouille, or I do not like tofu. So now here I am in our apartment with my 14-year-old daughter who is handling it a lot better than I am. I am very hungry. I'm very frustrated. My expectations are not happening and I am at my end. We have no snacks because we've eaten pretty much everything. And I have a plate of quinoa with tofu and ratatouille. And I was so upset. I mean, it really was my rock bottom. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Let's figure out how to get out of here because we did not have a car. So there was no way to get to a grocery store, and I could have made a fuss and I could have gone and said, hey, somebody get us food. But it wasn't about that. I knew that. And so I was just like, Lord, I am hungry. And I went to bed that night not feeling well. I think it's because I got a little stressed about the food. And I didn't eat much. I ate about a quarter of it. My husband actually ate it, and I think he kind of liked it. It was so outside my comfort zone. I don't think that it was bad. I think it probably was really good, but it was so outside my comfort zone, and I was not ready for it. I was not ready to try something new. I know when you travel, you are like, I'm going to try something new. And I had kind of had that attitude till we got there. But I thought, okay, we're going to a college. College serves comfort food. And maybe for them, that is a comfort food. And that's great. It was not for me. And so I was just kind of being a baby. I'll be honest. I was just being a baby. So that night I went to bed. I wasn't feeling well. And I said, Lord, I am hungry and I am tired, and I asked you for macaroni and cheese and you gave me quinoa. Like, what is this about? And he spoke to me, and it was that still quiet. It wasn't an audible at the end of my bed speaking. Okay. So just so you're there, it was a not meeting your expectations, but I still love you. And I was like, oh, wow. Yeah, God, it's not that you're not meeting my expectations. I was so humbled by the meeting my expectations that I was like, why are my expectations that a foreign country is going to have my comfort food, right? Like, come on, Jenny, pull yourself together here. And I wasn't there for the food. I wasn't there for comfort. I was there to be a blessing to the people around me. That was my job. That was what I went for. I went to be with the students and get to know the staff and encourage them and love on them and pray for them. That's why I went. And here I am crying over a plate of quinoa. It was a very humbling, very, very humbling night. I woke up the next morning and I realized I had to let go of the expectations that I had. The expectations that we would be able to sit down and chat with everybody and get to know everybody, that expectation had to go out the door. Now, God did open up a lot of opportunities, and I got to do a 5-minute every morning. My husband gave up some of his time, and I got to speak a little bit here and there, and I got to connect with a lot of the young ladies there and pray with them, and I got to do that. But I didn't get to do that till I let go of my expectation. God did not show me goodness and joy until I let go of my crazy expectation. And for me, it was super humbling. It wasn't necessarily, because actually the next day was one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. It was like this tomato soup with little meatballs in it. Oh my goodness, if I could figure out how to make that, it was so delightful. And we had a piece of bread with butter. That's all I wanted was a piece of bread with butter. And my husband, they gave us a piece of bread, and my husband said, any chance you have butter? And I cried a little. I'll be honest. I took a bite of the bread and butter and I cried a little. I was like, this is so good, because I was so hungry. I'm crazy. I'm just a crazy person. But I had to let go of my expectations and let God do what he was going to do. And so why does that have anything to do with you? I don't know. But I do know that we're in this crazy season. We're in a season that things can change at a moment's notice. We are in the season where we're busy and we're crazy and we have great, grand expectations of life. And that's not always what happens, right? Relationships fall apart. Our finances fall apart. Our jobs fall apart. Our kids fall apart. Like, life happens, and we can't give up. And we can't go, God, where are you? We have to go, God, what are you doing now? And that's what I learned from that quinoa experience. I learned that my expectations did not meet what God was going to do. God had bigger plans for me, and I had a plate of quinoa. And that's what I was focused on. And it was super crazy now I'm sitting here talking about it on a podcast like I'm a obsessed foodie, and maybe I am. But really, why was I crying over quinoa, right? I'm in a foreign country, at a college, in a beautiful little apartment with my family, and I'm having the experience of a lifetime, and I'm crying over a plate of quinoa. And I'm not saying that what you're going through right now is equal to a plate of quinoa. There's probably some really big things happening in your life and your expectations have not been met. But I want you to know that God has a plan in the midst of what you're going through. God has love and He cherishes you. And He wants you to have a good life. He is not like, hey, let's see if we can make this person's life as miserable as possible and see how far we can push Jenny. Because I got to be honest, I was like, Lord, quinoa and tofu, when I asked for comfort food, this is what you're giving me? And I was a little angry. And that humility that I needed to get to, that I realized that His plan was different than my plan, and my expectations needed to be put on the side burner and understand that He had something special for me, even though it was not what I expected. Well, that is all I have for you this week. I hope that this season, your expectations are met, first of all, and if they're not, that you can see God's hand in your life, that you can see His love and His grace and His mercy in your life right now, even though all the chaos is happening. You can find us at Real Life with Jenny on Instagram or on Facebook. You can also find me on christconnection.cc/Jen. All of my information is there. Even my email is there. If you want to send a quinoa recipe, I will probably never try it, but you could definitely send it. Because maybe that's your favorite food, and I apologize if it is that I've maybe offended you. But anyway, you can reach out to me at any time. I would love to pray with you. And as we move on in this season, I pray that your expectations are met. But if they're not, I pray that you, in the midst of your craziness, are met with God's love, grace, and mercy. You all have a great week.